All right, what's up, All Eyes DB Camp members and fans? I know it's been a while since I've dropped a drill video on you. I know you guys have been thirsty for it because you love the drills, the drills, the drills. But all right, so we're going to talk about this one today. It has to do with using our hands in press. I feel like in this day and age and in this era, cornerbacks have really gotten away from using their hands. There could be a number of reasons for this. Let's be honest. Receivers are a little more skilled coming off of the line of scrimmage in most recent years than in the past. And despite that, I think because they are better at eluding the jam and they've had quicker feet and so on and so forth, I think we've gotten into this situation where more and more cornerbacks are just ignoring getting that jam more than ever before, and that's bad news. You've got to get the jam. I don't care that they are more elusive. That means you've got to get more forceful and you've got to become more skillful in getting that jam. All right, this thing was originally called bump and run. You got to have the bump before the run. It's now called press man. Where's the press? It's man coverage, but where's the press? So you got to get your hands on a guy. This drill here really helps and emphasizes the notion that you need to get your hands on a guy. So what you're going to have going on here, and I'm going to just run this a little bit while it goes. You're on the 5-man sled, okay? And it's good to have the 5-man sleds, not just for offensive linemen. DBs can get good work on the 5-man sled too. And I've got a number of guys working this drill on this particular day in this. So you line up directly in front of one of the pads in the 5-man sled. We started on the middle one. Which makes it a whole lot easier, but nevertheless. So what's going to happen here is the DB gets close enough to that pad to put a two-hand jam on it. When a receiver is exiting the line of scrimmage and when we're in press, there are three ways that that receiver can exit. He can come right at you, he can go to the left of you, and he can go to the right. All right? What I teach my guys is if that wide receiver is going to come right at you, put a two-hand jam on him, make it a very bad experience. Don't let him off easy by giving him a one-hand jam or a one-hand punch, unless we're using a specific technique. But we're not going to get into that. If he comes right at you and he gets into your space, you put a two-hand jam on him and you make it a very bad experience. You want that wide receiver to start making his moves from further back. You don't want him to get into your space, right? You don't want and let me draw some lines here. You don't want a wide receiver to be able to come this close to you and then exit. Okay, that's letting a guy be too comfortable. You start putting a two-hand jam on this guy, all right? You start getting that receiver into this position right here where you're roughing him up because you've got two hands on him, all right? Obviously two hands are better than one. You start doing that to him consistently, then he stops coming into this area right here. He stops coming into this area, and then he starts making his moves from back here. He starts making the moves from back here, and he starts trying to exit this way, from way back here. You know what that allows? That allows you more of a chance to kick, slide, and stay over the top of that wide receiver. But if you allow him to come right here first, and then his next step is even with you, then it's going to be very difficult for you to be in lockstep with him down the field. You're going to end up chasing, all right? So the trick is to not allow them to get comfortable enough to start coming into this area right here before they make their move left or right. And the way that we combat that is by popping them with that two-hand jam. All right, so this drill helps us with that, but it helps us with the exits left and right too. So here's how that helps us. Number one, the first thing the DB is going to do in this drill is pop that first pad that you're directly in front of with two hands because you're symbolizing the receiver coming into your space directly in front of you. So you hit him with the two-hand jam. All right. Then you shuffle off to your left in this particular case. All right. And that symbolizes the receiver exiting and making a move that way. And when you do that, you now pop the pad with your offhand. All right, because that's what you're going to do in this particular case. All right, you're going to use your offhand so that you don't lock your hips right here, and you're able to slide at a 45-degree angle, and when necessary, turn and run and get up the field. Okay, Now, in this particular case, we can't kick slide at 45 degrees and still be close enough to hit the pad. So the DBs doing this drill are sliding directly across. All right, and you're going to notice they're sliding directly across, not at a 45-degree angle, which is what they would do in a game. But again, we need to be able to hit the pad. I'm trying to emphasize getting a jam, getting a hit on the wide receiver. So running this back real quick before I let the whole line go. You hit the pad first in front of you with two hands, then you slide straight across. You're going to now hit with the offhand, which is that one. Then they're going to come back to this middle pad again, and then they're going to throw a jam with the other offhand, the left hand in this particular case, and at the same time going to open their hips quickly. Let me play this and show you. Right. All right, so let me do this in slow-mo for you. Two-hand jam in front, offhand here, back here, offhand, pop and get open. That's the important part right there. All right, when you come back here is pop, drop that inside foot, which is going to be this one since you're opening this way. All right, pop and drop that inside foot. That's going to allow you to open your hips quickly and get up the field. And what I'm emphasizing here, you may hear it. Oh, well, you won't be able to hear it because there won't be, you won't have the original sound on this video. But I'm emphasizing getting straight up the field in this. I want those guys to get straight up the field. I don't want anyone rounding their turn to get up the field because that's going to put you in trouble. That's going to end up with you getting stacked by the wide receiver. Okay, if he gets out here and gets here on you and you're rounding, you're taking your sweet time rounding, he's going to stack you and you're going to end up getting beat. So as they come back, I emphasize popping with that inside hand, dropping the inside foot. Those things have got to work together. Hands and your feet and your eyes are all coordinated. All right, two hand, off hand, pop and get open. All right, now I'm going to let it run with all the guys and you're going to see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to run it at regular speed. Okay, two hand jam, off hand jam, pop and get open. All right, emphasizing the speed with that last jam, pop and get open. You'll notice some of these guys hit it with the wrong hand. They just got to get comfortable with the drill. Pop, pop and get open. That was a pretty one to pop and get open there. Two hand, off hand, pop and get out of there. All right, the quicker you can drop that inside foot and pop and punch to get open, the better off you're going to be. Two hand, off hand, you hit it with the wrong hand on that second one, but he did it right on the last one. So you're going to get it here. Two hand jam, off hand, pop and get open. You see how quickly they're able to turn and get out? So the significance of throwing that jam when you drop the inside foot to get open is when you pop that receiver with that inside hand, you're keeping him underneath you. Your punch to his chest is keeping him underneath you so that when you open, you're staying over the top of him. That's really the big significance of it. It's not enough to just drop your foot and run. Yeah, you might stay over the top of him, but you guarantee that you're going to stay over the top of that route if you punch that receiver's chest to slow him down while you open. All right? Let me run this one back. This is Matt Elam, former safety at the University of Florida and former first-round pick with the Ravens. Two-hand jam, off-hand jam, pop and get open. All right? Emphasize the quickness in this. All right? Let me run this back just so you can see it from the top. Running it back with all these guys. Not moving fast enough for me here, but it's worth it to see all these guys run through the drill again. And then just notice how they work the hands and the feet at the end. Okay, so it's two-hand jam, off-hand jam, pop and get open. Drop that foot in the ground. Notice how they drop that foot in the ground, pop and get out of there. Pop, pop, pop. That allows you to stay over the top, get vertical, and use angles to cover these wide receivers when they're trying to stem you up the field, whether that's on the fade or an inside stem where they're trying to get vertical on you to run, either a dig, a curl, a post, or anything of that nature. It's very important that your eyes, your feet, and your hands all work together. And I'm serious, guys, about not letting them come into your space and dictate when they're going to make that move. You got to be able to pop them when they come right at you with a two-hand jam like Will is doing right there and pop in and get out. is the last one we'll watch. Pop, 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 and get out. All right, so I think you guys get it there. If you've got a 5-man sled around at the park that you go and work out, or on your football field, man, like I said, it's not just for the offensive linemen. We DBs, us cornerbacks, and even you safeties and nickel guys, anyone that's got to cover someone in the slot or get a jam, these things are very, very useful for us. Make use of it. When you're doing this, though, I always talk about your eyes. Don't let your eyes drift up. Your eyes don't need to see what your hands are hitting. Keep your eyes down. You shoot your hands above your eyes when you're hitting the pad. If you get into the habit of looking up to see what your hands are hitting, once your eyes go up, guys, they're going to stay high. Very hard to put your eyes up and then bring them back down to the hips. You keep them on the hips as a guy's trying to exit the line of scrimmage. You don't need to see your hands hit the chest. If you see where their hips are, you know their chest is right above that. All right? If I missed anything here, are there any little details that you need more clarification on, or you have any feedback, feel free to reach out to me. Send an email to cwilson@alleyesdbcamp.com. Again, that's cwilson@alleyesdbcamp.com. All right? Thank you guys for being members, and thanks for watching All Eyes DB Camp. Consistency breeds results.